Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's session, I will be analyzing a chart of an IIT-JEE aspirant whom I will be calling by name Ashutosh from now onwards. Ashutosh reached out to me via email asking to analyze his chart. He has already given 2 attempts of JEE exam in 2024, that is this year. He could not get through, and he requested to look into his chart and see if there is any promise in his chart to clear the exam the next time, which is scheduled for 2025 January and April. I did the analysis and sent him a report as well, so I thought I will put up this analysis on my channel today. I will first be starting with comparing the strengths of the annual charts of the previous attempts and the forthcoming attempts, and then go to the natal chart and then connect the dots from there onwards. Pulling up the annual charts, okay, let me first open the chart for you. This is the natal chart. I did verify this chart with various past events. I had to ask the student, I had to ask Ashutosh when he cleared his 10th, 12th grade exams, and then if he had any ups or lows that he could think of during his education, and then compared those dates with the chart, and I was pretty convinced that the chart is accurate and I did not have to rectify the birth time. In front of you there is the Rashi chart, there is Siddhamsha and the Bhava Charit Chakra of the Siddhamsha chart. Siddhamsha or D24 is the divisional chart that is looked into for educational matters and learning matters. And while analyzing Siddhamsha chart, it is very important to keep in mind that the birth time has to be very accurate. As the harmonics of the divisional charts go up, then the duration of which the lagna changes from one sign to another is less. That is, in Rashi chart, lagna changes every 2 hours, whereas in D60 Shashtyamsha chart, the lagna changes for every 2 minutes. That is the order. As the harmonics go up, then the range that we have for lagna becomes lesser, shorter and shorter. Okay. Let me pull up the Tithi Pravesha chart for 2023. And he took up the first attempt in January 2024. So the dasha that was active during that time in the compressed Tithi Ashtotari dasha of D24 was Moon dasha. Now I will be analyzing the Siddhamsha chart in particular with the dasha that was running during the time of the first attempt of the exam and see if that dasha had any strength to give any favorable result at all. I will be looking into 4 aspects: the strength of the 5th house, strength of the 5th lord, and correlation of the placement of moon from the Arudha Lagna, and connection between the dasha lord with Arudha of the 5th house. The reason why I am looking into 5th house and 5th lord is 5th house in Siddhamsha stands for recognition and scholarship, whereas 4th house stands for learning ability. If 4th house denotes the grasping power of a native, 5th house represents the retention power and the projection of that to the world, the recognition. And the placement of the dasha lord from Arudha Lagna, that is important because Lagna denotes self, the actual self, whereas Arudha Lagna denotes how we project ourselves to the world. I may be a very good person from inside, but I may put up an image of a daring person or a careless person or a reserved person. So what the kind of projection that I put forward to the world, that is looked up from Arudha Lagna. Now, why is Arudha Lagna important in analysis here is, who, let's say Ashutosh, he might be a very intelligent boy, but he has to be seen as an intelligent person. He has to be seen as someone who clears the exam. That has to be seen from Arudha Lagna only. And A5, why is A5 or the Arudha of 5th house important is, the 5th house represents recognition, but the tangible manifestation of 5th house, like a rank or a certificate, that is seen from A5 or the Arudha of the 5th house. So all 4 aspects are important in analyzing the annual chart. Now, moon, what kind of a moon is in this Siddhamsha chart is, he is the 12th lord in the 4th house of learning. 12th lord is spoiling the 4th house here, along with a functional malefic Saturn. Saturn moon conjunction in the 4th house is not very good here because it denotes some kind of sadness. And how is the 5th house? 5th house lord is Jupiter. He is with Mercury and the nodes in the 11th house. Let us see how close these 4 planets are by pulling up the longitudes of the D24 chart. D24. So Lagna, Sun, Moon, Mars, Mercury, Jupiter. Jupiter is 23 Gemini and Mercury is 10 Gemini, and then the nodes are at 23. So Jupiter is afflicted by nodes here, and let us quickly look up the relationship as well. Jupiter is in an inimical sign, so he's not very strong there. The 5th lord is not very strong. And how is the 5th house? Let us look at the longitude of moon. Moon is 13 and Saturn, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong divisional chart. Okay, moon, Lagna, Sun, Moon. Moon is at 8 Scorpio and Saturn is at 28 Scorpio. Yeah, so the 5th house is in Papakartari Yoga. It's between 2 malefic, Sun and Saturn. So the 5th house is not strong, 5th lord is not strong, and the Dasha lord is also not so well posited. And where is moon from Arudha Lagna? From Arudha Lagna, he is in the 6th house of fighting the enemies, struggling and overcoming obstacles. So this is not a very good, this wouldn't have been a good period at all for clearing such an important exam. Let us look up the second attempt, which was in April 2024. And the dasha that was active during that time was Mercury. How is this chart overall? We have a very beautiful conjunction in the Lagna between the Lagna Lord and the Yoga Karaka Saturn. Though Saturn is in Marana Karaka Sthana, let us just ignore that for some time now. Mercury. What is Mercury here in this chart? Mercury is the 9th lord of blessings and fortune and the 12th lord of giving up, or 12th lord of learning in a foreign country, 12th lord of making compromises. So Mercury is such a lord with an exalted sun. But the negative point is Mercury is in Marana Karaka Sthana, in a death inflicting station. The meaning is Mercury is not comfortable in the 7th house, and since it's the Marana Karaka Sthana, he will not be able to deliver the Karakatvas of 9th house and the 12th house, and the exam exactly happens to be during this Mercury Dasha. Even though there is a beautiful conjunction, as I mentioned, in the Lagna, Mercury does not have the strength to deliver the expected result. Now let us compare this annual chart with the upcoming annual chart when the exam is going to happen in January 2025 and April 2025. In January 2025, roughly it's between January 10th and the 30th, as mentioned by Ashutosh. He would be running the Sun Mahadasha of the Tithi Ashtottari Dasha of 2024. And what kind of planet is Sun? Sun is the 11th lord of gains, who is exalted in a Kendra. So Kendrasthana, he's in a very good position. He's with a friend, and he's forming Buddhaditya Yoga. He is aspected by Venus and Saturn. So Sun does have good strength here to deliver desired result. And how is he placed from Arudha Lagna? From Arudha Lagna, he is in the 10th house. Again, he is in a Kendra. Kendra denotes self-effort, whereas trine denotes blessing. So this indicates that he will be able to crack the exam provided he puts in the necessary efforts and provided the natal chart has the strength, which we will look into in some time. Let us look into the next fourth attempt. Fourth attempt is going to be in April 2025. If he clears in January, he wouldn't have to take up the April 2025 exam, but still let us look at the dasha and the annual chart. That falls in the 2025 year, and the Tithi Ashtotari dasha during that exam would be Venus. Venus for both. If he clears the prelims, he will be taking up the advanced JEE, which is scheduled to be in sometime in May. So both the fourth attempt of JEE prelims and the advanced JEE are going to happen during this period, Venus Mahadasha period. Let us quickly take a look at Venus. Venus is the 2nd and the 7th lord, who is conjunct Mercury. Mercury, who is the 5th lord, who is also strongly posited in his own house. And how is the 5th house? Sun. 5th lord is in 4th house. He is in 12th from himself. Mercury also happens to be the lord of Arudhapada of 5th house, and from Arudha Lagna, Venus Mercury conjunction happens in the 5th house. The only not so strong point is that Venus is not a special planet here. He is not a trine or a Kendra lord. He is just a natural benefic who is in conjunction with Mercury. That is the only I wouldn't say negative, but it is not so strong. So I by weighing between the January period and the April period, I strongly feel that he will be able to get through in the January exam itself. At this point, I wouldn't give any reading on the advanced JEE exam. I will say why it is so in some time. These are the readings from the annual chart. Now, annual charts are only enablers. They will be able to deliver something only if there is a promise in the natal chart. So now let us take a look at the natal chart for this native. In the natal chart, the Siddhamsha Lagna is in Aquarius, and the Lagna Lord Saturn is in the 8th house, denoting that in the matters of education or learning, he is a very hard-working person. And in the 5th house of recognition and scholarship, we have a conjunction of 4th Lord, who is also a Yoga Karaka, that's Venus with Mercury. 4th Lord, 5th Lord conjunction is happening in the 5th house, denoting that there is blessings of Mahavishnu, Bhagwan Mahavishnu, in the learning matters, in the learning environment of this native Ashutosh. So this is a very good chart when it comes to learning, only that the right dasha has to be should be running when he is going to take the exam next. The applicable dasha for this Siddhamsha chart is Chaturashiti Samadasha from Moon, because Saturn, who is the controlling planet for this dasha, is strongly posited in Adhimitra Rashi. So I go and change the dasha to Chaturashiti Samadasha, and the divisional chart of concern is D24. He is running Mars Mahadasha of the Siddhamsha chart. Mars is the 3rd lord of initiative and the 10th lord of karma in learning matters, who is posited in 10th house, a good planet. A good planet's dasha is running in Siddhamsha, and particularly during the time when he'll be taking up the exam, he'll be running the Jupiter period, who is a natural karaka for learning. And in this chart, his agenda is of the second house and the 11th house, because he owns both these houses. He is posited in the third house, which is not such a good placement, because third house is the Maranakaraka sthana for Jupiter. And the fifth lord, Mercury, is also not very strong, even though he is posited in his own house, because looking up the D24 chart, Mercury, his longitude is 1 degree 40 minutes in Gemini. He is in Gandanta, so he is also not very strong. So what I advised Ashutosh is, your his annual charts do have strength to give good results in the exam, only that the natal chart is slightly on the weaker side. So I advised him certain puja, not puja, I would say it is a chanting of a mantra to strengthen this Jupiter and Mercury. And there is another reason why I asked him to do it, because even in the Rashi chart, Mercury is debilitated and afflicted by Rahu. Overall, Mercury has to be strengthened for this boy. So I advised him two important things that is to be done on a daily basis to strengthen this Jupiter and Mercury. And overall, in learning matters, Mercury and Jupiter are very important for this boy, because Mercury is the fifth lord of learning, and Jupiter is the natural karaka for learning. If we look into Dashamsha, I went ahead and looked into his Dashamsha as well, because at some point of time he will be working too in future, and Mercury is an important planet there as well, because Mercury is posited in Lagna. For another question that he asked, what would be the subject that I would advise him to take up in future, I went ahead and did an advice that any Mercury related engineering field would be the best suit for him, because Mercury is a very prominent planet in both Siddhamsha and Dashamsha chart for him, and the dispositor of ninth house is for undergrad studies. The dispositor Venus is with Mercury in the fifth house. So the first choice that I advised was any Mercury related engineering field, and then it would be Mars related and then Venus related subjects in the same order. Along with this question, he asked a couple of more questions, like when he would start earning and what kind of job would be suitable for him in future, which I answered to the best of my abilities. And I also looked into other combinations in his chart, as he was interested in astrology. I was very curious to see if that is promised in his chart as well, which I will not be discussing in this video. So yeah, the overall conclusion is that if the natal chart is strengthened and if he puts in the efforts, which he is already doing, he has very good chance of clearing the JEE exam, which is scheduled for January itself. So Ashutosh, study well. We all wish you, we in the sense me and the viewers of my channel, we all wish you the very best in the upcoming JEE exam. I hope you all enjoyed the video analysis today of Ashutosh's chart. If you have any questions, or if you think there's something could have been improved in this analysis, please leave me a comment. See you all in the next video.